Good morning, Fellowship Hi-Crest. Welcome back to Jumpstart. This devotional is for Wednesday, July 28, 2021, and it's taken from the book of Judges 11, verses 29 through 40. I'll be reading from the New Living Translation, and here's what it says. Then the Spirit of the Lord came on Jephthah. He crossed Gilead and Manasseh, passed through Mizpah of Gilead, and from there he advanced against the Ammonites. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord, if you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. Then Jephthah went over to fight the Ammonites, and the Lord gave them into his hands. He devastated 20 towns from Aurora to the vicinity of Minnith, as far as Abel Keramim. Thus Israel subdued Ammon. When Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah, who should come out to meet him but his daughter, dancing to the sound of timbrels? She was an only child. Except for her, he had neither son nor daughter. When he saw her, he tore his clothes and cried, "Oh no, my daughter, you have brought me down and I am devastated. I have made a vow to the Lord that I cannot break." "My father," she replied, "you have given your word to the Lord. Do to me just as you have promised, now that the Lord has avenged you of your enemies, the Ammonites. But grant me this one request," she said. "Give me 2 months to roam the hills and weep with my friends, because I will never marry." "You may go," he said. And he let her go for 2 months. She and her friends went into the hills and wept because she would never marry. After the 2 months, she returned to her father and he did to her as he had vowed, and she was a virgin. From this comes the Israelite tradition that each year the young women of Israel go out for 4 days to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite. Now, this is a story that I know all of us can relate to in one way or another because as believers, we go to God. That's who we turn to when we find ourselves in situations where we need deliverance because He's our Lord, and it's in Him that we've placed our trust. But at least I know I have. And so, what we do when this happens a lot of times is we make a deal with God. And it goes something like this: God, if you just do this for me, if you just do that, you fill in the blank. And what we learn from the life of Jephthah is that one should never enter into a covenant agreement with God under duress or out of fear, because these are but momentary afflictions. Even though that agreement that you made with God is everlasting. Jesus tells us what we should say instead in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, which is known as the Lord's Prayer. And it ends with these words: "Deliver us from evil. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." So let that be your prayer. And that's it, family. Continue to power up, pour in, and spill out. And we'll see you tomorrow morning on Jumpstart.